consistently get asked and get talked to about higher education affordability. And it's usually by students, students that have had to make some very tough decisions in life. Decisions to go back to community college instead of continuing at a UC or CSU. Decisions like going into the military so that they can get their higher education paid for. And so it's something that has real impact.
Well, Assemblymember Williams called together a hearing for the Assembly Higher Education Committee to deal with the affordability of college here in California. And we heard from a number of experts throughout the state, from the CSU, from the community colleges, and the UC, on how we're doing, where we're doing well, and where we can improve.
I myself, I've been a college instructor and I was a junior high instructor for 10 years. I've seen what's happened when we teach someone at an early age. I've actually seen those students again years later and seeing the result of our teaching. A lot of times you don't realize the things you do have a long-range effect on the children that you teach.
When I was younger, I had a love for education. I was raised in a family where going to college was the most important thing. But my parents divorced in the middle of high school and I became a statistic. I dropped out of high school. Then I went to community college for the first time in 1999. And here I am almost 15 years later, finally I got accepted to UCSB and I've hit probably every single roadblock that you can imagine.
The length of time that someone is taking to complete college is even more of a factor than tuition levels in terms of how much money it costs, because living expenses are even higher than tuition expenses. And so when we allow a system to be perpetuated that takes students longer than 4 years to do a 4-year education, we're really putting them at risk.
Traditionally, the legislature has viewed affordability through the limited scope of tuition costs and financial aid availability. But I think the reality of California's budget demands and constraints forces us to rethink it. We must look at this issue in broader terms. What is within the capacity of the state budget? What is the appropriate level of fiscal responsibility to place on the student? And what are the expectations of the segments in terms of efficiency and performance?
Well, Chairman Williams has been a great leader for the Assembly Higher Education Committee this year. We've dealt with a number of challenges, and due to the wisdom of the voters in passing Prop 30, we've actually been able to invest in our community colleges, the CSU and the UC, for once after many years of drastic cuts. And it's important for us as legislators to engage in oversight and see how we're doing.
I think we have to do more long-term planning. We have to ensure that there is economics to help these people get a step up. They don't want a handout, they want a hand up. They want an opportunity to work, to learn, and then be able to get a good job. We have to work more and more directly with big business. We have to teach the classes that business wants so people go straight from the college, straight into a job. I think we have to do that type of detailed planning.
Affordability is not real if there's no room for those students. And so access needs to be addressed, particularly at the CSU and community colleges, where at the CSU there's tens of thousands of qualified students that are being turned away because of insufficient funding levels every year, and at the community college hundreds of thousands. So those are two issues that vitally need to be addressed.